welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be an update on my Project Pan. I feel like I just did this update, but it's been another month. So I'm going to be going over all the products that I've been working on. It's pretty much a full face other than eyeshadow, talking about my progress, the uses, how long they've been in this project, etc. So if that sounds good to you, if you like Project Pan videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get started talking about these products. All right. Most of you should know by now that I am traveling and I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. I'm actually back home at my mom's house for a couple of days, and I kind of just threw together this backdrop here. It's been a process, but that's okay. We're just, like I said, I'm doing the best that I can and the show must go on. So I have two Project Pan kind of projects that I do. One, a full face of everything from primer all the way down to fragrance. And then I have a separate project where I just focus on my single eyeshadows. So I think we're just going to get started. There are quite a bit of products, but because it's only one project and I'm not doing a whole bunch of different ones, that's kind of why this is a big hefty one. This is a rolling Project Pan, so once I finish a product, I roll something in its place. I don't reset at the end of the year or anything like that. And I think that's all kind of the information. We're just going to start with my primer that I didn't roll in that long ago, actually. It's the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I pulled this in February of this year, and this is what it's looking like. I'm very pleased for it only being in the project. Let's see, so it's September, so 8 months. And I have bottom of the jar here. I'm starting to scrape the bottom here. So in August, I used it 14 times. And I'm at a total of 93 times since rolling it in. It was basically brand new. I am going to pop up photos of what I have, but I think that I forgot to take a photo of this in the beginning. So just picture it brand new, or it maybe had like less than 5 uses on it. Next up are kind of like my concealer. I have a lot of concealer. I kind of went overboard in the concealer category, if I'm being honest, for Project Pan. I might, once I finish these, kind of need to whittle it down and not roll something in. But for my color corrector, I have my Benefit. This is the Brightening Concealer in 2 medium. Of course, first of all, I'm wearing most of these on my face, but it'll all be listed down in the description box. So I rolled this in October of last year. And this one, I did think it was going to go a little bit quicker, but here's where I'm at. You can't see the bottom of the jar just yet. I used it 15 times in August, and I'm now at a total of 220 uses since rolling it into this project October of last year. Next month will be the 1-year mark on this product, and I'm hoping by next year that I'm gonna hit the bottom of the jar. I am, for these next couple of products, using this brush, and I wanted to just show you, because before I was using my finger, but now that I'm using this brush, the kind of hole in the center is deeper than the width of this brush. So now I'm kind of having to go around the edges and just widen the hole. So I think that I will hit the bottom of the jar soon. I feel like I can see it, but not yet. And then the one that's been in here the longest since I started doing Project Pan in September of 2022, so officially 2 years since I've been working on this concealer. Now, I did only start doing my trackings a year later, so I only have 1 year of tracking on this. It is my Nars Soft Matte Concealer in Vanilla. So I use this as like an eye primer. I use this as a spot concealer. Vanilla is very light for me, which is why I pulled it into this project. But let me just show you what it's looking like. Here it is. Again, just like the Benefit, I use this 15 times, and I'm at a total of 200 tracked uses. So that's just for the year. I have 1 year of non-tracked usage on this thing. So it is interesting to me that it kind of has the same progress as the benefit. I think the benefit I'm using more every single day, whereas this sometimes I'm not. I really am using this like sometimes as eye primer, not every day, whereas the benefit, it's pretty rare that I skip it. So I don't know. This is also a lot more full coverage, so I need less of it. But I am hopeful, same issue with the brush here. I am hopeful that I will hit the bottom of the jar by next update. I really think that I will. There's hope. There's hope for this just yet. And then because I'm crazy, I pulled in another pot concealer. I don't know what I was thinking, but here we are. This is the RMS Uncover Concealer in shade 11. I pulled this in July of this year, so this is one of the things that's been in the project the least amount of time, just 2 months. And I used it 13 times last month for a total of 23 uses. And, you know, I'm happy with where I'm seeing this progress. I mean, you don't need a lot of this. I'm only putting this under my eyes. It is a very like emollient, shiny concealer. So I am actually using this under my foundation when I'm using it. I'm not using it over, only because I find that it looks a little bit heavy. So I'll usually go in with my color corrector, then the concealer on top, and then my foundation over it. It's also it's a little bit light for me in the summer right now. So that's just the best way I found to use it, and not a bad concealer. This is a race against time. I don't know if I'll finish this before it expires because it is the oldest concealer in my collection. Now, next up I have foundation. I pulled this in October of last year. That was a pretty big refresh month for me, so a lot of these were pulled in October. But I did decant it into this little thing. I have the jar here though, and it is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. This has long been discontinued, and here's where it started when I pulled it in. I was a little bit more than halfway done, and then right here is where I was when I decanted it into this little container. And when I put it in this container, which I believe is 5 milliliters, I think, if I looked on Amazon correctly. So when I decanted it into this, I kind of did it too early. It was like almost over full. But this is where I'm at. I don't know if you can kind of really see, but like I used to not be able to tilt it, and now I can like really tilt it, look almost all the way 90 degrees, and it doesn't spill out. So I use this, let's see, 11 times this last month for a total of 66 times since rolling it in. 66 times. This is a product that I have a little bit of trouble reaching for. Foundation is just one of my favorite things to try out, so I do a lot of foundation review tests. I'll link that playlist up above, and because of that, this doesn't get that much use. 11 uses is actually my record for a month, so I'm pretty happy with my progress. Because I've been traveling, I have less of my things, and this has just been getting more use. I'm going to take advantage of that. Of course, I'm wearing it today. I do like it. It's not a matter of me not liking it. It's just a matter of like, it's one of those things, foundation, I like to switch up. I like it a lot more than eyeshadow. I think I can pan the same eyeshadow look over and over, but foundation, I like to switch up. So again, like good progress. I'm further than I thought I was going to be on that foundation, so that feels really good. I don't think I'll be finished with it in the next month. I don't use a lot of it when I do use it, but I think 2 months, maybe 3, depending on the usage. So hopefully I can have this out of my collection by the end of the year, and hopefully especially I can have it finished by the time I start to lose my tan, because it is a little bit darker and I'll be way too light for it in the winter if I'm especially in a climate that's very cold. Moving on to powder, of course I have 2. I have my all over setting powder, which is the Mercier Candleglow powder in the shade 1. I pulled this in October of last year. I used it 13 times this past month for a total of 126 uses. And this is what it's looking like. Again, you'll see the picture. I am so happy with this powder. I don't know why, like I'm just really proud of my progress. Like I even like I went up to my husband, he was working, I was like, you have to look at my progress on this powder. I just feel like I've put so much work and dedication into using this powder that I want to give myself a pat on the back. I'm very happy with this. I think that this has maybe 1 or 2 months left, which means it about took me 1 year to completely finish this powder. It was pretty much brand new when I rolled it in, maybe again like 5 uses or so. So I'm very happy with this. I've really grown to love this product. I use it, you know, I put it over my foundation today. I also like to use it. I'll like go in with this Nars Soft Matte Concealer, kind of just spot conceal, and then I'll take a big brush and put this all over on like lighter makeup days, and it gives just a really pretty glow to the skin that's not too glowy. It is the perfect kind of blurring filter finishing powder. I've mentioned this before. I like it better than the Hourglass powders. I thought that they had discontinued this, but I actually found it directly on the Laura Mercier website. So it is linked down below if you're interested in picking it up. It's on sale though, so I do think that they're phasing this out. I think they are discontinuing it, but right now, last I checked, which was pretty recent, they still had this in stock on her actual website. And then kind of like my under eye setting powder is the Mini by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. I had the pressed version of this, and then I rolled in the loose version. I think I can make a new line today. I can. What a nice update. It's always like just hard when you have like a crappy update to just come on camera and be like, yeah, not really that much progress. I am kind of like a slow panner, so it can take me some time. I try not to, you know, I try to use things as naturally as possible. I try not to overuse it for the sake of overusing it. I need to grab a Sharpie. But I used this 14 times this past month for a total of 80 times since rolling it in. I did roll it in. I rolled it in this year. I thought it's been in here longer. So I rolled it in February, just like the Bobbi Brown primer. So 80 uses this year in 7 months. Not too bad. I do only use it under my eyes to set my concealer, so you don't need that much. This does have 1.5 grams. It does not have a lot of product, but I don't go through powder that quickly, so this... I still think I got like 80 uses left in this. I think I'm about halfway if I had to guess. So we'll see how that goes. Going into complexion products, I have my cream, bronzer, blush, and highlight. That is from this little Hourglass trio. I am trying to finish all these products up. I did say that already, except for a few that I'm trying to hit pan on, which we'll get to in just a second. But this little cream trio is one of the oldest creams in my collection, so I wanted to finish it up. I pulled it in October of last year, and just a couple months ago, I finally hit pan on this bronzer. So this past month, I used it 11 times for a total of 118 times since pulling it in. And, you know, on one hand, like, I'm happy with the progress. On the other hand, I'm a little disappointed. It's still a very nice product. I've made a pretty significant progress on the bronzer. I just kind of wish I had more progress on the blush. I think I will actually hit pan on this highlight before the blush, just because the pan's a little bit smaller. I do use my finger for this, and I underpaint with this. So I will, you know, go in with my color corrector, I'll underpaint with this, and then use my Tarte foundation. Typically, I tend to just use all my Project Pan items on certain days because that's the easiest since it's a full face. So a lot of the uses are similar. But, you know, when I compare this to how it was when I rolled it in, I'm very happy with my progress, but I will be a little bit honest. I thought it was going to be a little bit easier to finish this up. That's okay though. The blush is going to be a challenge. Like, I don't think the dip is that deep on the blush. I mean, it's definitely there, but it's taken a while. So we'll just have to see. The cream product is just going to stay here for a while. Now, for my powder, bronzer, blush, and highlight, these I only have a goal of hitting pan on, just because it does take so much longer to finish an entire bronzer, blush, and highlight. So I don't want to be focusing on the same blush for 10 years when I could try to like rotate out as I go. The first one we're going to talk about is actually a contour. I pulled this in instead of a bronzer. It's the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in Light. Now this is very exciting, but also, let's just talk about it. So I pulled this in October of last year. I used it 13 times for a total of 157 times since rolling it in. And here's what it's looking like. So it now has pan. The problem is, I don't know if you can see that little chunk there. I'm trying not to let it fall. It has like cracked. So I did earn that pan. I earned that pan right there. I do only use this really for nose contour. The problem is like now the pan expanded really quickly because once I hit pan, it started to crack and it's just cracking more and more and more. So I think I decided what I'm going to do is I am going to repress this contour here because I'm still traveling and I'm kind of afraid to travel with it now and have it just crumble. Right now is the best time for me to repress it while I'm, you know, semi-home at my parents' house. So I'm going to take a picture of every single product that I have here just to have kind of progress photos because I really have only been showing the photo of what it looked like when I rolled it in. So now I'll have the roll-in photo. We'll do kind of a September update photo, and then I'll show those side by side so we can kind of see a little bit more progress. I'm sorry, I am not trying to hit pan on this. I am just trying to finish this because it's like one of my only contours. The blush and highlight I'm trying to hit pan on. But yeah, so I will take a picture of this, how it looks now. I will repress it and you'll see it next update. I'll probably take a photo of it repressed as well, just so we can kind of see. But that's the contour. I'm at least happy I hit pan, but because I'm just contouring my nose, like I am using a very fluffy kind of eyeshadow brush, and that's just having me really concentrate in one spot and not spread out the love, which is why it kind of cracked. The next thing I have is my blush, which I'm just trying to hit pan on this, like I already said, and it's already been in here for 2 years. This, as well as the Nars, are my two oldest things in my project here. So this I rolled in September of 2022. So we're hitting the 2-year mark. Here's what it's looking like. Every time I look at this, I'm just disappointed, but then I look at the original photo and I'm like, okay, I have been using it. I didn't have that great of usage this month, so I used it 9 times for a total of 127 uses. Again, like the Nars, this I have a full year of untracked uses on, so this is 1 year of tracked uses. I think, you know, I was like starting to lose hope on when I'm gonna hit pan, but I do think maybe I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think maybe, just maybe, I can hit pan by the end of the year. I really would like to start working on another blush. This is a beautiful blush. This blush is like the perfect summer, warm, glowy blush. I love it. It's not too glowy because now like we really have a lot of like the Rare Beauty blush is like that highlighter blush. This is a true just luminous blush and I like that. So it's a very nice one. I just also want to give love to other things in my collection and I'm just ready for this to be out. I have less usage on it this month only because a lot of my eye looks were a little bit more cool. They were leaning cool. So the warm blush didn't go with it as much. Now for the highlight, this I pulled in not too long ago. I pulled this in April along with, no, that was it. So this has been in here since April of this year, and it is the Nars Fort de France highlight. I don't know if you can tell, I'm pleasantly surprised with my progress on this. I thought this was going to take me quite some time, but I'm seeing like good disturbance in the pan and like a good dip. I don't know. It's hard for me to see if you're seeing it. But I use this 13 times in the past month for a total of 73 times since April. I think that's pretty good. I use this a lot. It's just a really easy highlight. It is, you know, it is a blinding highlight, but it's not an overly blinding highlight. It was a blinding highlight in the standards when this first came out, but I would say like now it's not really considered a blinding highlight. Still working on this though. Goal is to hit pan and then I will roll in another highlight. And then now we're going to move into my setting spray. So setting spray, I have the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I rolled it in when it was pretty much brand new here. So at the top, I used this 18 times this past month for a total of 69 times since being in this project. Where is my pen? So we can make a mark. All right. And I rolled this in November of last year. So setting spray, I wasn't using that often, and that's why I started pulling it into Project Pan. Now that it's summertime, especially when I was in Louisiana and I was recently just in Cyprus where it was very, very humid, I found myself wanting to reach for the setting spray so much more to just really kind of set down my makeup. I was using more powder, so making sure that I didn't have too much powder on my face. So I'm happy with my progress, because for bringing this in November, I feel like, what was my total on this? My total was 69 uses. I feel like I should have more than 69 uses for having it in the project for 10 months now. So I'm going to keep using it while I can. It's going to continue to be hot and humid around here, especially where I'm going to next. So I will take advantage of that. But I have so many backups of setting sprays that I'm trying to just get through my collection and have a more manageable number in that category. So that's why I'm just focusing on this. And then I have my black eyeliner. This I'm also pretty proud of. So this is just a Dior black liner. It's long been discontinued, but it's just, I mean, it's just a black eyeliner. I rolled this in October of last year, and I've been getting into the habit of using this more and more and more. So I'm really happy about that. I used to be just a brown eyeshadow person, so it was really hard for me to get through my black liners, which is why I pulled it in, and I'm making good progress. So I used it 12 times this past month for a total of 78. Let me kind of just show you my marking on this so you can see where it started. But we started all the way at the top there, and now this is where I'm at after 78 uses. I'm very happy with this progress. Like, yes, it's going a little bit slow. I do only tight line with this, and sometimes I'll even kind of smudge it out. I don't use that much, but I'm getting through it. Trust me when I say, like, had I not put this in the project, I just wouldn't have used it at all. So any progress is good progress. Then we have my lip liner, which I rolled in July of last month. So it's been 2 months that I've been working on this. I used it 19 times this past month for a total of 34 uses. Here's what it's looking like. It definitely needs to be sharpened again soon. This is the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in Dolce K, one of my oldest lip liners. I do really like it though, which is why I am Project Panning it. But, you know, for using it the 30-something times, 32 times, 34 times, I don't have as much progress as I thought that I would. I really thought I would be further down, but I'm not. That's okay though. It's a really nice lip liner, like I said. Just kind of get another lip liner out of my collection. I'm hoping to kind of, same thing, just like with the setting spray, like just pare down my lip liner collection. I don't need 50 different nudes of lip liner when I'm really using the same kind of nude. Like I need a warm nude, a cool nude, and like maybe a red or something. Like I should really have less than 10 lip liners, and I probably have at least 30. So just trying to get through them slow and steady, and that's all I can do. The last thing that I have is my fragrance. So I pulled in a body spray from Victoria's Secret. It is the Almond Blossom and Oat Milk. I used to work on like an actual fragrance is what I worked on before rolling this in. However, when I rolled it in April of this year, I was going to like a dog rescue. I was like a dog rescue. I was going to a dog rescue, and I wanted something just a little bit lighter, more of a body spray than like an actual fragrance, to just not be maybe too harsh for people who are maybe sensitive to fragrance. I had no idea. Anyways, I thought I'd just pull this in and work on it. This last month, I only used it 4 times, so we're not doing great. I'm making very good progress on it. I've used it a total of 87 times. I just, while I was traveling, have been using like my little sample spray fragrances, and I kind of worked on that. This kind of just got put on the back burner because I know that I'm going to the rescue again, and I figured I can kind of focus on my travel fragrances, and I'll bring this again when I go back. So the 4 uses put me here, and this is kind of like my line marking. So here's where I started in April, and this was 1 month of use. So I think 2 months, if I can get good usage on it, especially like this will be my only fragrance that I take with me to the rescue. I think I'll have this done in a month or so. So those are all my Project Pan items. I thought that my fragrance was the last thing, but I just remembered I forgot to talk about my lipstick because I don't love this. Okay, let's talk about this really quickly and then we'll wrap this up. This is the Buxom Power Plump Lip Gloss in Glowing. Let's see, I actually used this a good amount of time this last month. So I rolled this in October of last year. I used it 15 times. That's decent for me, for a total of 115 times since rolling it into this project. This is hard to track because it is just chubby, but this is all that I have left. I'm very happy with it. You'll see my original roll-in photo, but look how far down it goes. I've really been trying to use this. You know, I purposely picked out the lip liner to go with this. My issue with this is that sometimes it can just feel thick. It can look a little bit thick on my lips, and I find that it also sometimes transfer. I have like a video not that long ago, and the whole entire video I had lipstick on my teeth from this lipstick. So it's not really my favorite. I'm trying to get through it. I will only finish it up to the plastic packaging. I don't think that I'll dig this out, but I really want to commit and prove to myself that I can finish a lipstick. So I'm not going to roll it out just yet. I don't hate it, but it is a little bit difficult for me to use. This will be one of the only lip products that I bring with me to the rescue again. So that just helps me get more usage on it and really focus in on it. So I'm hoping like by the end of the year, I'm really hoping that can be done. After that, though, we're officially done talking about all these products. I know that there's a lot. It's just easier for me to do one project, one tracking system, etc., rather than a whole bunch of different projects. So let me know down below if you are also project panning. I would love to support you, whether that's on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. We all really need support and help, just someone cheering us on when it comes to Project Pan, especially when we have no rollouts like I do today. I feel like I have good progress though, so that is still very motivating for me. You have to keep the motivation going or you will just slide down and not use them. So let me know if you are also doing Project Pan, but this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.